Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a massive, almost existential question that's been on the minds of technologists, researchers, and, honestly, probably you as well. Are we literally watching the death of the open internet? We're going to dive deep into the data and some wild, real-world stories to see if the web, as we've always known it, can actually survive this new era of artificial intelligence.
Okay, so let's jump right in by defining a word you're going to hear a lot today. That word is slop. You know how spam became the universal term for junk email? Well, slop is the perfect term researchers are using now to describe the absolute tidal wave of vapid, machine-generated content that is just drowning our social spaces and search engines. We're talking about totally pointless clickbait, completely fake electronic music popping up on Spotify, and just bizarre automated imagery spamming your social media replies. Section 1. The Great Slopification. How exactly are once useful social feeds mutated into these bizarre automated wastelands? Now, you might have seen some of these AI-generated anomalies yourself, like the infamous Shrimp Jesus images that basically took over Facebook for a while. It's wild, right? But here's the thing, it's not just random computer noise. A journalist actually tracked down the creator of some of these pages, and it turned out to be a guy in Kenya who uses AI to mash up highly clickable topics like religion and animals just to farm engagement. And when these weird images go viral, he gets a payout directly from Facebook. So the platforms aren't just accidentally hosting the slop, they're literally subsidizing it. And it's terrifyingly simple for bad actors to set up this kind of passive income. It literally takes 3 steps. First, you just enter a prompt. Say you want a guidebook on building wealth or a video script about fake soccer rules. Second, you generate a totally fake photorealistic author picture from one of those "this person does not exist" websites. And third, you just hit publish on Amazon or YouTube. Boom. In a matter of seconds, you've monetized content that you didn't write, haven't read, and know absolutely nothing about. Section 2. The hallucination engine. Because honestly, this goes way beyond weird crustacean pictures and harmless junk books. We are moving into real-world danger. So the absolute crucial point here is that generative AI has this hidden superpower. It can lie with absolute, unwavering confidence. Because the AI simply cannot differentiate between what is true and what is false, it hallucinates. And that has actual life-or-death consequences. For example, the New York Mycological Society had to issue urgent warnings about AI-generated mushroom foraging books on Amazon because these books were actively telling people to eat toxic fungi. Meanwhile, on YouTube, you've got thousands of automated videos spreading vicious, totally fake celebrity death rumors just for clicks. And even Google's own AI overview has been caught citing satirical academic papers as literal vetted fact. Impartially speaking, the AI does not care what side of the aisle a topic falls on. It just blindly accepts and amplifies whatever data it's fed, with zero concept of truth. Take this obscure AI video channel that completely fabricated a rumor about the German grocery chain Lidl. The AI claimed Lidl was renaming Easter bunnies to sitting bunnies to avoid offending Muslims, a total hoax that outraged thousands of people online. Contrast that with Google's AI setting a conspiracy theory webpage to incorrectly state that Barack Obama is a Muslim. Whether it's right-wing political rumors or bizarre supermarket hoaxes, the machine just spins the data it's given. Section 3, the ELIZA effect, which naturally brings up a pretty fascinating question. If the AI is just hallucinating and making things up, why are we as humans so incredibly easy to trick? I absolutely love this quote from the musician and poet Nick Cave because it just perfectly captures the emptiness of AI-generated art. He said, "Data doesn't suffer. ChatGPT has no inner being. It has been nowhere. It has endured nothing." Yet, fascinatingly, studies show that when people blind test poems, a lot of them actually prefer the AI-generated ones. Crazy, right? But it's because the AI uses these simple, predictable rhyming structures that don't take any real intellectual effort to digest. It mimics emotion perfectly, even though it has a completely hollow core. Computer scientists actually have a name for this human vulnerability. They call it the ELIZA effect. Back in the 1960s, there was this simple chatbot named Eliza that managed to trick people into pouring their hearts out just by mimicking a psychoanalyst. Today, that effect is on steroids. Get this, a tech reporter recently cloned his own voice, hooked it up to an AI, and had it call a credit card customer service line. When the real human agent asked for his social security number, the AI totally panicked and started hallucinating a story about its father having cancer just to get out of answering. It's wild.
We instinctively project empathy and intelligence onto anything that speaks our language, which is exactly why we're now seeing people genuinely fall in love with AI companions. And this reveals a massive disconnect going on in the tech world right now. Tech executives really want you to believe we are on the verge of AGI, artificial general intelligence, this hyper-intelligent, godlike entity that's going to wake up and solve all the world's problems. But the reality, as researchers constantly point out, these language models are really just highly complex word-guessing machines. They're what's called stochastic parrots. As one expert so brilliantly put it, you can breed horses to be faster and faster, but eventually a horse isn't going to give birth to a locomotive. Throwing more computing power at an autocomplete program doesn't suddenly make it conscious. Section 4. The economics of platform decay. So, if we aren't actually building a superintelligence, why are massive companies forcing this stuff down our throats? To understand why, we have to take a quick trip down memory lane and look at the internet's economy. Back in 1996, the web was driven by these beautiful hippie ideals, a decentralized, utopian space for sharing free knowledge. Even after the dot-com crash in 2000, that open spirit lived on with blogs and early Wikipedia. But by the mid-2000s, mega corporations started building these massive walled gardens, cordoning off the open web. Fast forward to 2024, and we're officially in the era of AI slop, where these middlemen are desperately jamming AI into every search bar and messenger app, all to justify their astronomical billion-dollar stock valuations. The author Cory Doctorow hit the nail on the head with his concept of platform decay. It perfectly explains what happens to our online spaces. A platform starts off awesome to attract you, the user. Then, once you're hooked, it changes the rules to make things better for their business customers, like advertisers. Eventually, once both users and businesses are totally locked in, the platform intentionally degrades the experience for everyone else, so the executives and investors can scoop up all the remaining value. That is exactly why search engines today will prioritize 6,000 words of AI-optimized drivel instead of just giving you a simple omelet recipe. It's all about trapping you on the platform to view more ads. Section 5. AI's hidden human labor. Which brings us to a pretty shocking realization. If AI isn't an omnipotent superbrain, who is actually behind the curtain pulling the strings to make it look so smart? Between 150 and 430 million. Let that staggering number sink in for a second. That is the estimated global population of data workers. To put that into perspective, that's roughly the size of the entire population of the European Union. Millions of people sitting behind screens, manually categorizing, labeling, and filtering the data that makes AI function. The magic of AI is actually just a massive, completely hidden human workforce. And then there's this number, $2. $2 an hour is the grim reality of what a data worker in Kenya actually earns to sit there and manually filter the AI's outputs, just so the chatbot you're using in your living room doesn't suddenly say something offensive or illegal. It's honestly the great eyewash of our time, hiding this exploitative, horrifying human labor behind the glossy, magical term artificial intelligence. Tech companies call it reinforcement learning through human feedback. But what that actually means is workers in developing nations drawing digital boxes around objects for up to 18 hours a day. And it gets worse. These workers are frequently forced to manually label deeply traumatic and graphic images. We're talking deep wounds and dead bodies. So the AI can learn what to censor. They're bound by strict non-disclosure agreements, they get zero prior warnings about what they're going to see, and they receive absolutely no mental health support. Just listen to this quote from one Kenyan data worker who was interviewed by researchers. They said, "The dead bodies. Imagine 18 hours a day. We need to have discussions around mental health and make it convenient and accessible to everybody." It's just a profound, devastating reminder of the very real human cost that's powering these multi-billion-dollar tech companies. The next time you hear a CEO talking about magical machine intelligence, just remember the actual humans enduring 18-hour shifts of pure trauma to make that machine function. Section 6. A more human internet. So, with the open web drowning in automated slop and built entirely on hidden human exploitation, where exactly do we go from here? Well, there is a silver lining. Optimistically, experts suggest that this whole digital catastrophe is actually pushing us toward a much better outcome. People are feeling a massive disenchantment with these automated, profit-driven feeds. We are just sick of the slop. And because of that, we're seeing a wholesale retreat from those massive public social media platforms. People are actively seeking refuge in smaller, closed spaces, like Discord channels, private group chats, and little niche communities.
We're prioritizing direct, verified human-to-human connection simply because we crave actual authenticity over algorithmic engagement. And that brings us to the end of our explainer today. But I want to leave you with one final provocative thought to chew on as you navigate the web. As AI continues to flood the open web with meaningless slop, will it become so distasteful that we finally log off those massive platforms and return to communicating with each other as real human beings? It just might be the push we needed all along. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I really encourage you to look a little closer at your feed. Catch you next time.